parodies. Listener discretion is advised.
This is Nurse Lizzie with the Devil You Know podcast. And the best way to apply it is straight to the ear pussy.
Hopefully there isn't a mass shooting between now and then.
Right.
I'm recording.
I don't know what to say.
Me neither, man.
I'm out of ideas for...
Coming up on episode 100 and you're burning out, huh?
No, I just like every time I always feel like it's always the same. What's up?
Yeah.
People like that.
You usually say all right.
Hey, all right.
I'm going to take all of the all rights that you've said and put them all together.
All right.
It's going to sound like that freaking song from those guys. All right.
I don't know that song.
The one from, what's the name of the group? Adam, you know all that stupid crap.
I know all that stupid crap.
Outcast.
I don't even know who Outcast is.
Hey, remember that song?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
All right. Just, yeah, stupid. Anyway.
Lost me.
Yeah.
Or you could take every sample of us saying fuck. Fuck. It'd be kind of funny.
That'll get old after 4 fucks.
You gotta find some good ones, though.
4 fucks and 7 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
This is the lamest intro ever.
Or is this our intro?
Maybe we should be like, hey, happy 2-year anniversary for the Devil You Know.
Yeah, this.
All right, ready? Let's start it over because this sucks.
All right.
Yeah, start it from scratch.
All right, here we go. All right, episode 97.
Happy anniversary.
That's right, man.
2 years, John. 2 years we had this idea.
You had the idea. I'm just hanging on.
I don't know about that. It wasn't what it is now. It's much better this way.
Sweet.
It was just a little seed. It was a mustard seed.
Yes, and now it's a mustard tree.
I started out as a big fan, and you guys brought me on.
Yeah, you were growing up with the posters of these guys on your wall, and now you're one of them.
Yeah.
He was a replicant, and we hunted him down.
Yeah.
Like the Blade Runners. See the Blade Runner?
Fuck yeah, dude. I love that movie. Like, I loved it. I loved the cinematography, the score. Everything was just amazing. The lighting. I mean, the way they focused on things. I mean, they just directed
just
you,
a huge
your eye
scale,
everywhere. Man. I loved it.
Did you see it, Adam?
No, everybody's talking about it. I haven't had time to go to the movies.
It is beautiful. It's beautiful.
I'll have to check it out.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Cool. But that's right. Adam's been busy.
I have been.
What have you been doing, Adam?
I dropped off a piece to the biggest art show in Placer County.
A piece of ass?
No, a piece that I made, a stained glass piece. It was a Baphomet. I made a 3-foot Baphomet.
Glass.
Yeah, and it was accepted at the Placer Principal, which is held at the Blue Line, which is the biggest art gallery in the county where I live. And it's a huge show, and the curator of the museum saw my artwork, and he invited me. And I dropped the window off yesterday. Helped him hang it. He was a little bit worried about hanging it because it's glass. So I went in and helped him hang it. And as I was hanging it, I just casually mentioned that some of the promotion that this window's received, and I showed him the Church of Satan's news feed and the Twitter and the Facebook with all the likes on it, and he was blown away. And his reaction wasn't what I expected. He stopped what he was doing, and he's all, "Fuck yeah! Oh, I fucking love it." He's all, anything that's anti-mainstream religion, that's fucking great. I love it. I'm so glad it's here. I'm like, wow.
Yes.
That's excellent.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Right, a true artist.
He did mention, I forget what exactly he said, but I said I was glad to provide a controversial piece. And he said something along the lines of, where would art be today if it were never controversial? I'm like, that's dead on.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. Very proud of you.
Thanks.
That's right, buddy.
It's so the show starts on Friday the 13th, appropriately. And my window's blazing at the front of the art gallery.
Right on, man.
We posting some pictures.
Very cool, man. It looks really nice. So
Thank you.
hopefully you get a lot of people, and maybe you'll see some shocked faces. The blasphemy.
Nice. No, that's awesome, man.
If a church will buy it just to destroy it, it'd be kind of funny. I'll take the money and I'll build 6 more of them.
All right. Nice.
It's like Samael. You kill one, 2 pop up.
That's right.
All right, man. Let's start the show.
All right.
Excellent.
See imagery. The adolescent boy who takes great care in carving on a tree a heart containing his and his love object's initials. The little chap who sits by the hour drawing his conception of sleek automobiles. The tiny girl who rocks a scuffed and ragged doll in her arms and thinks of it as her beautiful little baby. These capable witches and warlocks, these natural magicians, are employing the magical ingredient known as imagery, and the success of any ritual depends on it. Children, not knowing nor caring if they possess artistic skill or other creative talents, pursue their goals through the use of imagery of their own manufacture, whereas civilized adults are much more critical of their own creative efforts. This is why a primitive magician can utilize a mud doll or crude drawing to successful advantage in his magical ceremonies. To him, the image is as accurate as needs be. Anything which serves to intensify the emotions during a ritual will contribute to its success. Any drawing, painting, sculpture, writing, photograph, article of clothing, scent, sound, music, tableau, or contrived situation that can be incorporated into the ceremony will serve the sorcerer well. Imagery is a constant reminder, an intellect-saving device, a working substitute for the real thing. Imagery can be manipulated, set up, modified, and created, all according to the will of the magician, and the very blueprint that is created by imagery becomes the formula which leads to reality. If you wish to enjoy sexual pleasures with the one of your choice, you must create the situation you desire on paper, canvas, by the written word, etc., in an overstated a way as possible as an integral part of the ceremony. If you have material desires, you must gaze upon images of them. Surround yourself with the smells and sounds conducive to them. Create a lodestone which will attract the situation or thing that you wish. To ensure the destruction of an enemy, you must destroy them by proxy. They must be shot, stabbed, sickened, burned, smashed, drowned, or rent in the most vividly convincing manner. It is easy to see why the religions of the right-hand path frowned upon the creation of graven images. The imagery used by the sorcerer is a working mechanism for material reality, which is totally opposed to esoteric spirituality. A Greek gentleman of magical persuasion once wanted a woman who would satisfy his every desire, and so obsessed with the unfound object of his dreams was he, that he went about constructing such a wonderful creature. His work completed, he fell so convincingly and irrevocably in love with the woman he had created that she was no longer stone, but mortal flesh and alive and warm. And so the Magus Pygmalion received the greatest of magical benedictions, and the beautiful Galatea was his.
All right, episode 7, 97. 97,
Episode 7.
John.
I'm like, what?
I was going back in time because I was going to go back to Woodstock so we could listen to some Hendrix.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's not cool. Well, let's get to
never
it.
heard this joke, man.
Yeah, it's about as old as you. Adam, what do we got?
Older, actually.
I'm looking at her picture. She's a little cutie. Adam, will you just introduce her, please?
She is. Today we have citizen of the Infernal Empire and registered nurse, Lizzie. Please welcome Lizzie to our studio.
Hi.
Hello. What do you think of this place?
Hello.
Don't sit on that couch right there. That's not. I think it's still wet. Sit on the other one. There you go. But welcome.
What's happening?
Nothing.
Yeah. All right.
So
I don't know what I walked into.
Or stepped in.
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. There you go.
Thanks.
And that's
The
all you get.
applause I deserve.
Yeah, totally.
This
That's
crowd
right.
is out of control tonight.
So listen, I don't know where to start because Adam's saying you're like a registered nurse and you work in the intensive care unit and all this, and we kind of want to get to those kind of stories, man, because you probably
Well,
got
first
some
off,
whoppers.
let's say congratulations to something you got coming up this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that first time.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. It's super exciting. 5 years.
Sweet. To the same guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think.
Spread it out over a few dudes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yes, I met you at the conclave. You and your husband, I believe.
Yeah. We were at Conclave.
Right on.
So,
Which one? The one in New York or DC?
in New York.
Oh, cool.
In New York.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Did I meet you?
Maybe we met a lot of people, and we're both kind of shy.
Aw, you can't be shy around
So,
Satanists.
hey,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
There's
definitely
probably a lot of shy Satanists, actually.
That's weird.
It is.
Yeah.
But
it was. My husband remarked that it was kind of comforting because we didn't really know what we were walking into, and he just struck up a conversation, and it was great. It was awesome.
Sweet.
I found that most people at the conclave were like that. Like you could even if you thought it might be weird to walk up to a random person to start talking, they're pretty open to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. We actually at the dinner we walked up and talked to Magus Gilmore, and at that point I had become so just like overwhelmed with nerves. I didn't really even say anything. I just kind of like giggled and babbled for a second, and he just kind of like started laughing at me. And he was okay. I was like, I'm gonna go take my seat now.
He's cool as hell, though.
Yeah, he totally
Yeah,
is.
totally. That's awesome.
Well, that's the cool thing about going to the conclave is you see all these different people from different walks of life, and we have one thing in common.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's kind of what this show's all about, is showcasing Satanism in action. So you got some cool stories.
Yeah, definitely got cool stories. It's so funny because when you're trying to think of these stories, I feel like, I kind of, me and my husband kind of ran through stuff, and I was like, all right, is this boring or is this weird or am I being like disgusting? Like,
Disgusting's always good.
too morbid.
Yeah, morbid, disgusting,
Perverted,
nasty, naughty. We'd like all that. Yeah, just let it fly. Let your freak flag fly.
See, the patients are the true freaks.
Yeah, I'll bet. Well, I assume that's probably the most interesting thing's got to be the unexpected that walks in. You go, oh my god, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, no, and that happens. I mean, you get your call and your report, and then you go, okay, you get ready, thinking it's going to be a normal night, and then it's not.
Somebody's got something stuck in their ass.
Yeah. So usually by the time they get to me, it's no longer in their ass.
Oh, where is it? It's like in a dish next to them.
Wait, no longer?
Yeah, no longer.
It's no shorter in their ass either. So like, when you say in their ass, like, what are some of the objects that, like, what, like a Matchbox car? Like, what's in there?
Oh no. So okay. So when I worked in the
Coil
prison,
spring?
when I worked in prison, I worked in the women's prison. I don't really have like a lot of
That's
ass stories. Yeah,
So
I
it's
know.
more
It is not. It is not Orange is the New Black at all.
So
It's more like
being in the women's prison, there's not a lot of ass play. It's more like
Vagina.
I had to work that in somehow. All right,
Yeah.
cool. So what do they put inside their vaginas in there? And say it slowly.
Oh, slowly. Okay. So we had an inmate, which I worked. Okay, so
Was she hot?
No.
For the sake of the story, can you act like she
Yeah,
was
in
really
this
hot?
story, she is.
I'm sure she's hot if she was maybe on fire,
Oh man. Oh
but you know, if that's how you like your women, then you know
no.
we can arrange something.
No. I don't want to arrange
Okay,
anything.
so okay,
Like that.
story.
Yeah.
This lady, I work with a lot of mental health too, so that goes into it. She had actually stuck an apple into her vaginal cavity, and yeah,
Yeah. And then what
it
happened?
had been left up there for over a week.
Oh, did it have a worm in it?
I don't know. I was so not part of having to pull that out, and I'm
Well,
so
at least it was
thankful.
smaller, probably coming out, right? Because it shriveled up.
Yeah, probably. You think
Oh.
about like fermentation.
So she was getting drunk on it.
Oh God.
She taped like a bag
What?
to it so like it drains in there. Oh.
That's a swill, right? She's making some wine.
It's apple cider. Drink up. Yeah. That's disgusting. So
I never saw any prison wine or any like hooch, toilet hooch. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, toilet.
I never saw that in there. I mean, I've seen some pretty disgusting things from there, but not that. But anyways, like they had to get not the nurse practitioner that usually oversees that area out. They had to like call in the OBGYN to fish that out.
Oh.
And it was totally gross.
What'd they pull it out with?
The
Like,
fish are gross.
Yeah.
The jaw's alive.
Yeah. What would make it somebody put an apple in there? I don't get it.
Mental illness. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I think what's worse is leaving it there for a week. Like that had to be uncomfortable to walk around with. I would think.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
It's like a giant Benoit ball. That's nice.
Yeah.
For those of you that know what that is. Anyway, let's go to, because I keep picturing this nasty chick with a rotten apple up her vagina. Let's switch gears. Did anybody stick anything different in there?
Let's switch gears.
Yeah.
What else goes in an asshole?
I mean, really?
Yeah.
Our friend Jared McGee uses Irish nachos. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Mexican Irish thing.
Yeah. Oh, they're
And it's
green.
not as
They're
much that,
green.
like,
That's why.
There's
Anyway.
less of like people sticking stuff in their orifices and more of like we've had like super morbidly obese people. Like you've lifted up a fold and we've like found food hiding out.
What do you mean, like crumbs or like a whole slice of pizza?
Not really a slice of pizza. We found cookies. I found Oreos underneath somebody's breast.
Oh my god, really? And they didn't know, or they're hiding it?
I don't know. Like that's I just shook my head. And
That's like the latest flavor is like boob sweat Oreos.
Oh.
But people will hide food because a lot of times when you come in the hospital, if you're having a procedure, or if we think you're going to have a procedure, we make it to where don't eat anything, because if you do, then when you're under anesthesia, you can aspirate and die.
Yeah.
People don't care, so they still like try to sneak food in, and then we find it, and then like little kid. It's like working at a daycare. It really is.
Yeah.
Is that like the first thing once they're under is like, all right, let's check all the folds for food?
No.
Did she wake up all pissed like, "Where my cookie at? Who got
No,
my
she
cookie?"
was just mad at life in general.
Oh.
You know, where my cookie at?
I told a bitch she was going to eat my cookie.
Why did we go right to that accent? That's weird.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You mean the southern accent?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Well, I'm from the South, so most of my patients have a Southern accent.
Mm.
Well, I wouldn't have guessed.
Anybody like? So you did the women's prison. You also did a men's prison, right? I'm like, beep.
No, I didn't do men's prison. I was a wound care nurse for 2 years. So, and that was, I don't know, people get so grossed out by it, and there's so much more things to be disgusted by than wounds.
Yeah, like Antifa, but
Yeah.
So, so blood doesn't bother you then? Like that doesn't
No.
bother you?
No. Honestly, the only thing that really bothers me is like teeth. Anything with dentures or anything with teeth bother me.
Huh.
Like I've had my whole fist in somebody's wound. That doesn't bother me.
Wow. Can you put your whole fist in your mouth?
No. Oh God,
okay.
no.
I don't know what made me think
It would
of
get
that.
stuck, and then I'd have to go to the hospital, and I'd be incredibly embarrassed.
Oh,
It'd be all.
that's crazy. So, what's the craziest thing that's happened with your current position? Like, where you were like,
with my-
holy shit.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell a story, and like it's every day is so different, and a lot of the stories I feel like if you're not in healthcare, you're not gonna get, because I'm like, oh, this like this ugly rhythm, and then you're just gonna be like, what? Who cares? Like, are they dead? But okay, so this lady she was very confused, but she was pleasantly confused. She was hallucinating, but it was all good. Like, you get people that have good hallucinations and bad hallucinations, but hers were okay. Like, as long as you're calm about it, like, we're good. I don't care who you're talking to, it's not there. But
They're called Christians.
yeah, we get a lot of those too.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the night, I thought she was asleep. I hear her bed alarm going off, and that's just something we use to keep them in the bed and keep them from falling.
Yeah.
She had climbed over both her bed rails. I go in there to grab her to help put her back in the bed, have my hands in her arms. She looks me straight in the face, and her eyes roll in the back of her head, and she just goes limp, and she like shits all over the floor, all over my shoes.
Oh, God.
Yelling for help to get her back in the bed. And we get her back in, and the nurse that helps me is like, she doesn't have a pulse. And so I was like, oh fuck. And she was a do not resuscitate. That means don't do CPR or anything.
What do you mean, like,
and
let
we
her
were just-
die?
Yeah. If you're DNR, it's let you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fairly common, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
no,
know
it's
that.
super common.
How do they determine who's DNR?
You do, or your family does.
Oh, so her family was like, look, if she passes out, like, just let her die.
Like, hey, make sure you let her die, because she always shits all over me every time I try to wake her up.
Yeah.
And we're sick of that shit. Yeah.
And she's got a fucking shitload of money, so just let the bitch die.
Right. Wow. So that. Okay.
No, but so we get her back, and then what had happened? Her heart rate had dropped so low that we couldn't feel the pulse, and then her heart rate started to climb back up, and then she woke up and looked at us, and I was just like, are you okay? And she's just like, yeah, and then just keeps going and talking to whoever she thinks is in the room that's not really in the room.
Haven't you done cocaine before? Your heart stopped, then start back up again. That's crazy.
Wow.
So, but there's, stuff like that. I've had patients try to treat their schizophrenia with crack cocaine. That's always fun.
Wow. I've seen crackheads try to treat their crack habit with schizophrenia, so I know what you mean.
I'd rather deal with them than having them shit on my shoes.
Shoe shitters.
Yeah.
I've been puked on, and
Oh yeah. You can't pay me enough for that job.
I had someone like shoot blood out of their trach into my hair. It was awful.
Oh God.
Nice.
You usually got to pay extra for that kind of action.
I know, right? And then I go to work. You know, the saw. So,
Damn.
but yeah, it's everything. Like I said, everything is so different every night that it's kind of like, where do you start?
Yeah. What else you got? You got like any other stories like that you're just like holy shit about?
I don't know. All my stories are so fucking gross.
Good.
When I was a wound care nurse, I took off somebody's socks and their toe came with it.
Oh.
I hate when that happens. That's
Is that like
Ah.
or what? What was the deal? We'll deal with that.
Was it
He had diabetic neuropathy.
Ugh.
And so basically you can't, once you have that neuropathy, you know, that pins and needles feeling, and really you lose sensation, and the toe had he had lost circulation to it. He couldn't feel it. And so when the tissue died, he couldn't tell when.
Did you call a tow truck?
That's
I get it.
awful.
That's crazy.
Wow. What made you decide to get into this career field? What made you decide to get into this as a job, as a nurse?
So all of my family's in healthcare, so that kind of helps. My mom was a cardiac nurse. My stepdad is a neuro ICU nurse, and my biological father is a physical therapist. So it runs in the family.
Yeah.
And gives us all something, you know, to talk about at dinner about, like, you know, growth.
Yeah, or ruin somebody's dinner anyway.
Damn. Any secondhand stories, like maybe from your family, like they had something happen that they shared with you? We're just wanting to hear some sick shit.
Oh, okay. So
Sweet.
here's a fun one to Google.
Uh-oh.
Is I had a patient with what's called Fournier's gangrene
Ugh.
in French.
Yeah.
Very much involved. And it was one of those things that, like, you look up to try to, like, just gross yourself out and, like, you know, outballs your friends. Like, look at that. Isn't that gross?
Yeah. Jared will love it.
And I actually have a patient with it. So basically, you get gangrene in your perineal area. So
Where's
this guy in your pants. Yeah.
Okay.
So he had
Panini.
Your panini?
basically bacteria had ate away from his asshole up to the front of his pants line.
Oh, his taint?
Oh.
Yeah, like that was all gone.
He was taintless?
Yeah, he was.
Oh.
Ow.
Taintless.
Now, when you say
Listen,
eat away, I mean, are you looking at his like lower intestine through there, or what? Like,
So yeah, that's kind of further up, but it's like it was
My
just
bad.
all just like looks like
You get the
ground
idea. Oh.
At what point did this guy say, I should probably go to the doctor?
I don't know, like he had been there for like a week, and then I had him, and then, but it starts out like you start getting like swelling in that area and like in your scrotum, and then it turns black, and then like, you know, when like old fruit like ripen and then like open up, like that's what happened to his testicles.
God. Oh.
I think I would prefer to eat a bullet at that point. Fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was in such good spirits. It was so great. He wasn't really
Ow.
what a wonderful day.
he wasn't really complaining about anything.
You must be really
I mean,
good
his-
at your job then.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Just oof. Now, is that something so you saw that, not something like your stepdad or something?
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I was gonna say
Oh my God,
you got
like,
some
Google
balls,
it.
but you've got like no balls. It's weird.
Well, he still had them. They were on the outside
No,
of his
you.
body.
I mean, you've
after
got.
he
I was gonna say you have balls for looking at that stuff, but
Yeah.
that's not true.
It's totally not gross.
What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you there? That
Oh,
like that
yeah.
afterwards, like you and the nurses all got together and laughed your ass off when the patient wasn't around.
Yeah.
So confused patients that cuss at you, especially little old ladies, are hilarious.
She's like, "Get away from me, you black bastard!" And you're like, "White."
Yeah.
All right.
We've had like nurses that are very fair-skinned called the N-word multiple times.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what? That doesn't even make any sense.
Narcissists?
Yeah.
Neanderthal? Yeah. That's weird.
But yeah, it's I had okay, so I had this patient. I didn't have them personally. I was on the same floor they were. That he was confused, and he had what we call an elopement risk, which means he wandered.
Okay.
And he had gotten up out of his bed.
Elopement
His
risk.
bed. Yeah, an elopement risk. They might elope on you.
Yeah, that's weird.
So he got up out of bed, and his bed alarm went off, and we all ran towards it. We followed, and he was fast. We followed this trail of like blood from where he had ripped out his IV and shit that he had like left on the floor, and he had actually gone into another patient's room, sat on top of this patient, and was taking a shit. And we're like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?"
What?
And and the patient was totally out of it, so they didn't really know.
Wow. Was it a chick?
Find out like they were old enemies.
Was he shitting on a girl or a boy?
It was a girl.
He shit on her.
But
Again, you usually have to pay more for that kind of action.
We were like,
That sounds like a David Harris video.
That sucks. If I go to a hospital down there, I just... What's that?
We told him you can't go into other women's beds, and he's like, I would never get into another lady's bed. I've been married for 60 years. And we're like, you just shit on this lady.
Wow. Did he... Wow. Who's got to clean that up?
Know better.
Nobody. Who has to clean that up?
We do.
Really?
Don't you have like candy stripers? Or
you don't have like bus boys around or anything?
What year is this? No.
Newbies, whatever. I mean, yeah.
We get doo-doo duty. Everybody does it.
There's
like changing a 300-pound man who is screaming and trying to fight you covered in his own feces.
Oh,
come
my
on.
God. Yeah, there's no way you could pay me enough for that job.
I think at that point, you it's lawful for you to rub it in his face.
No.
Come on.
Your bedpan is now your respirator, asshole.
They should just have a room, like in Rambo when they spray Rambo with the fire hose, where you just put the fat guy in and just blast him with the hose.
Yeah, right?
Fuck that.
It's inhumane.
Yeah, you just get over it.
Skip your shit.
I guess you get it. What about the smell? Doesn't that make you like gag?
No.
Oh.
I mean, okay.
So you're into that sort of thing.
You got some weird fetishes going on.
What?
Like the smell of GI bleed is probably one of the worst smells on the planet, and the smell of Pseudomonas. So it's one of those
Totally. I hear you. I hate those candles that smell like that.
Yeah. What is that? When you say GI, what?
So, like, if you have an ulcer in your intestines and you start bleeding out of it, like out of your rectum.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's the smell of like shit and blood mixed together, and sometimes it's old blood. And it's like something that like sticks in your nose, and you'll go home and that's like all you can smell.
It's like shit-stained pennies or something.
It's intense. Like it's an overwhelming smell.
Ugh. And what was the other one?
Pseudomonas.
Pseudomonas?
Pseudomonas.
What's that mean?
Yeah.
That's when the TST has moaning problems.
Is anything like pseudo-Satanists?
No.
Because they smell too.
Yeah. God. But yeah, it's just a type of bacteria. And it's one of those like you can walk into a room and go, That's Pseudomonas. It's just you never forget it. It's disgusting.
Ugh.
That's awful.
Yuck.
You deserve a medal.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm going to give you another one of these. Hold on. Man. I'm going to let it go all the way out, too, because you deserve it. Oh, I can't. I don't want to think of shit or bad smells anymore.
yeah.
I don't want to think of shit. That's just gross. What? Do you have?
You ever have two girls show up with a cup?
No. Oh God. We've had patients. I mean, in that same aspect, we've had patients drink from their own urinal, thinking it's their water.
Oh my God.
It's a little salty.
So gross.
The
People are
ammonia levels.
disgusting.
You have any ice? This is a little warm.
It's the worst lemonade ever.
This needs sugar. That's just nasty. You ever have anybody come in and their braces are stuck together to each other, like two?
No.
No.
No, because that's mostly like an ER thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, once they get to me, you might die.
So how many people have you seen die?
So I've been in healthcare for 10 years. I started out when I was 18 working in nursing homes as a tech. So I mean, I stopped counting years ago when I got more than 20 because I was like, I mean, it's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
So
you kind of numb to it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's not as much seeing a person die as it's watching how the family reacts to it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That kind of like, you kind of have to like take a step back and, back away from it emotionally.
Yeah. Wow.
But with us, unfortunately where we're at, the heroin epidemic's pretty strong here. So we get people like in their 20s that die.
What area are you in?
In the South.
in the South.
Oh, okay.
The southern region?
The South.
The southeastern region.
Okay.
Hillbilly heroin's pretty popular here.
Cute.
What's hillbilly heroin?
Oxys.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Do you have a doctor prescribe that to you, though, or is it...
No,
Yeah.
they find a way. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. They find a way. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, pain
Like,
clinics
isn't crack illegal?
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
All right, I've got to let's liven it up a little bit. It says here you've played rugby for 2 years with the local women's team as a loose head prop. What does that mean?
So that's the name of my position. I'm kind of like I used to play. I don't play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a linebacker.
Oh, okay. Damn.
So, yeah. So you're in the front. You're one of the front three.
I was actually I tried watching rugby the other night, and it was really, it's pretty cool, but I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here, and it was really hard to follow.
Yeah, I don't know who's supposed to get the ball.
They
had like
which way they're
15
running.
downs or something. I don't know. It was weird.
A lot of the people on the field, it's kind of chaotic. So everybody gets kind of confused sometimes, and you're basically just get the ball to the other side and take it from the other person. If you can do that, then you can play rugby.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, they called that smear the queer.
Kill the carrier. I played Kill the Carrier. Yeah.
Kill the carrier.
Kill the Carrier. Yeah, that's what it was called when I was growing up.
That's the politically correct version.
Kill the Carrier.
I guess because I grew up in Indiana. Smear the queer.
Smear the queer. Oh shit! No, but rugby's badass because, like, it's like football sort of without all the corny little
pads.
gay pads. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a mouth guard.
Yay.
And that's it.
It's crazy.
And they don't get paid as much as American football athletes. It's weird.
Well, there's not really
You gotta have an audience to get paid.
Yeah, there's not really an audience here.
Look, if the NFL started taking off the pads and just running around tackling each other, there'd be a bigger audience.
Yeah.
So,
Or if
Well,
they had
except that they wouldn't hit each other with the way they do, so it wouldn't actually be the same.
these rugby guys do.
I watched rugby. It's pretty cool, actually.
It's
I
crazy.
got respect.
Well, that's awesome. It says here an avid gamer. What do you play?
So pretty much, whatever I can get my hands on. I'm a huge Fallout person.
Cool.
Okay.
When Fallout 4 was announced, I bought the Pip-Boy and the mini nuke, and my house has a bunch of Fallout stuff, and I have Fallout tattoos.
Nice.
So it's kind of, yeah.
Can you show us the tats right now or what?
Not right now. I don't have.
You got a camera. You have a camera right there.
I do. I didn't put my face on today. Okay.
Your tattoos on your face?
Oh.
No, I hear you.
No, but it's really cool. I've got the Vault Boy, and I have a huge New California Republic 2-headed bear on my leg and a Securitron on my arm.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool.
Sweet. Yeah, I love gaming. It says here you're a collector of old creepy things. What did you keep that apple?
No.
That would have been awesome.
It's in my curio cabinet.
Yeah.
Just imagine the little description plaque on that. That would be a weird, creepy thing to have. Definitely.
Yeah.
What creepy things do you have?
So I pretty much I collect old books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fuddy-duddy. I've got several books from the late 19th century, and old creepy Bibles. That's another one I love. My husband hates them.
Probably because of what's written inside.
Yeah, and they're family Bibles, and they're creepy, but I love them.
Yeah. Do any of them smell like pseudomononucleosis or whatever it's called?
No.
What is it? Pseudomonas?
Pseudomonas.
I got it. All right.
Yeah, you did.
So old books that smell musty. What else you got?
But yeah, just old creepy things. I bought a mirror specifically because it creeped him out.
Like that? A mirror?
Yeah, it's an old antique mirror.
Oh, like that movie, Octa whatever or something. Forget it. You guys didn't see it. There's a movie out with this creepy mirror, and it kept killing people or something. Anyway.
Is it mirrors?
Creepy mirror.
No, it was called Octavium or something like that. It was something like I don't know.
I think a mirror made out of discarded dicks would be creepy to me. I don't really know why else a mirror would be creepy.
Why would you have so many discarded dicks?
Wait, what's a discarded dick?
That's what I'm saying. That'd be creepy.
Real dicks or wood dicks?
Any kind, I guess.
He's just thinking about dicks.
John has a wood dick. I got a picture of him with it.
That's a can opener.
I'm trying to understand how a mirror is creepy.
It's just creepy.
It's just a piece of glass.
Yeah.
You mean the frame? The frame's probably
out of a dead person's house. Yeah, the frame's super elaborate.
Oh.
But I also have music boxes and things like that.
Cool.
So it's just, I don't know.
Any old dolls and stuff, creepy dolls? You like that?
Oh, so my dad gave me these 2 porcelain dolls that I wasn't allowed to keep in the house because they creeped my mom out.
Yeah.
They came from this lady that he used to have as a patient that her house caught on fire. Whoa. And she had 40 cats, and of course, it was a house fire. They didn't make it. But she had these dolls, and she really liked me. So these dolls that she had saved from the fire, she gave them to me.
Yeah.
So those are, they're at my dad's house, put up somewhere. But my mom wouldn't let them in the house. My husband won't let them in the house.
Wow.
One of them's missing a leg.
One of them likes to start fires. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I love stuff like that. So.
Is your husband a Satanist?
So he was actually the person to introduce me into Satanism.
I'm going to take that as a yes. No?
He says he's not, but I think he is.
We know how that is.
Yeah.
My spouse is the same way.
So
I think some people just fear that word, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of like negative connotations. They just assume that, you know.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
So you got 3 cats. What are they, all female?
No.
No?
I've got 2 girls and a boy.
Oh, nice.
And I have a turtle.
A turtle?
Yeah, we have a turtle.
I was going to ask you if the cats fuck each other, but let's talk about the turtle.
No.
Or you can continue the story with how your husband introduced you to Satanism.
Yeah.
We can talk about turtles or Satanism.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
I like turtles.
So he just
I'm like 150 years old, dude. How, is he like a snapping turtle or just like a regular little dude?
No, he's an African slider. My husband found him when he was a baby, when he was around 15 years old. Yes, in Africa.
Nice.
So, and this turtle, I mean, they live to be like 70. So the turtle's probably going to outlive us.
Yeah, me too. That's crazy.
So,
Damn.
You had him 15 years, huh?
yeah.
Wow. That's impressive.
And he gave him like a ping pong ball to play with because he thought the turtle was bored.
Huh.
Wow.
And now my husband's staring at me because he hates when I tell stories about him.
All right. Before we get into the Satanism thing though, there's a couple of things here I just want to address before we move on. It says your favorite snack is Tijuana Mamas and chocolate milk. What are Tijuana Mamas?
Okay, so Tijuana Mamas are spicy pickled sausage you get from gas stations.
What?
Whoa.
But that makes your GI blood come out of your ass, doesn't it?
Your GI blood come out your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gross. What got you into spoiled sausage?
It's not spoiled. It's delicious.
I don't know about that.
As long as it might make you shit your shoes.
Not your shoes. I don't know. It's tangy, and then you drink chocolate milk, and it's you have to mix like savory and sweet. So like it's just a mix.
Now I gotta try it. Damn
I don't know.
That was my fun
Pickled
fact.
Savory. I don't look at a pickled sausage and say, "Ooh, savory."
Hey, to each their own, man. That's cool. You know what? My wife, she loves rotten peanuts. Like,
Ew.
yeah. See,
Like
there you
actual
go.
like
Peanuts that have you know when you bite a peanut and you're like, oh god, you spit it out. She loves those.
I've never had that experience.
Yeah, there's like a peanut gone bad type of thing. You know, it's just a.
I don't think I've ever had a peanut gone
I've heard
bad.
of people putting peanuts in like soda.
Yeah, no,
I've never heard.
we go to like Five Guys and they have like peanuts all over the place, and she knows which ones are bad. And she'll pull them out and
Go to Five Guys and have penis all over the place.
He walked into that one.
Five
I mean,
Guys.
at least 5
yeah.
of them.
Five Guys is a burger joint, but we'll get like a burger and they have peanuts around, and she'll pick out all the rotten, disgusting ones. It's really bad. You never had like a peanut M&M and you're like, oh, this one tastes weird.
No.
Maybe.
Wow.
Pistachio before you're eating pistachios and you're like, oh fuck, that's nasty. Spit it out.
Yeah, see, she loves
Yeah,
that.
but that's just pistachios in general.
Yeah, that's true. Chocolate milk. Who doesn't like chocolate milk?
I love chocolate milk.
I like chocolate milk. How did you? I mean, I'm taking your husband introduced you to Satanism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how did that happen?
So he had the books around his house.
Mm-hmm.
I say his house, our house, and I just picked one up one day and started reading it. We, in high school, we were kind of like the spooky kids.
Mm-hmm.
But
Shout out Hot Topic a lot.
oh god, yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You've grown up. So what? Go on. What happened?
Okay, so I started picking up and I started reading it, and it's like everybody, I feel like it's kind of like a universal statement. You go, huh? That really, I really identify with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that's just you kind of like you layer it onto yourself because it's about it fits. It's the same.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Yeah, no, we know what you mean, totally. Well, that's awesome. How long before you said I am a Satanist? That's what I am.
So I started identifying more in my early 20s, but I didn't really go out and say, "Oh, I'm a Satanist." I'm a very private person.
Yeah.
And so I don't really I just keep to myself. But
Sure.
yeah, and then I didn't officially join until early 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty recent.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't really join stuff.
That's why we're an organization for non-joiners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So join us now. That's really interesting. So did you tell does your mom know, your dad know, and all that?
Oh God. So I feel like my family is on sometimes a different level, and just they're not, because I feel like I've listened to the show and I've heard people talk about, oh, my mom was opening, or I did talk to my mom about it.
Yeah.
But my mom she's the type of person, when I was in high school, we went to this music festival at Red River, which is where the Bell Witch's story comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the cave, and she was the person that if you bring dirt back on your shoes from this cave, you're not allowed in my house. So
no, listen, I know what you mean. My mother was a freak. Like when I had a bag of clothes and books or something, and she wrapped it in with palm or something on it and made me keep it in the basement. So I had to go downstairs to get a book or my clothes seriously. Like she didn't want it up in her space.
So it
Ridiculous.
was, even just, it's not something like you can really reason with and go, okay, no, read this. No, if I, entertain any of those thoughts, then the devil's going to come get me. So, but we don't, she knows that I'm not a Christian, but we don't really discuss it. We did kind of have, we butted heads when I got married because she wanted me to wear this wall-sized crucifix when I walked on my
Flavor Flav!
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And I told her no.
Yeah, boy.
Absolutely not.
Right.
And she just, she's like, well, when you're ready to come to Jesus, he's ready for you. And I was just like, no, okay, whatever.
Sounds like my mom.
Yeah.
Sounds like my mom too.
So how about the stepdad though? He's probably cool and he knows, right?
So my stepdad's cool as fuck.
Yeah, they usually are.
So it was so funny when we were planning to go to New York. I kind of let him know hey, we're gonna be out of town from this day. If we don't get back by this day, call and tell we're missing. But he's like, well, why are you going to New York? And I was like, well, it's kind of there's art and there's going to be people we're going to talk to. I didn't want to really go into detail because he's really good at Googling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, he goes, okay, that's fine. But it's just one of those, we don't really talk about it a whole lot. I may say something, philosophically wise, this is, talking about pride or things like that. But I don't really go, well, this is Satanism.
Right.
I do what I do. I live my life.
That's right.
That's the best way to be.
But most of my friends know, and when you walk into my house, you kind of I've got a Baphomet on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the ingots from Conclave on my dresser.
Nice.
So it's more obvious. But that's one of those things. If I am comfortable enough to let you into my home, into my private space, then I'm well more comfortable having that conversation with you.
Right. That's cool.
So I think that, and then of course nobody at work, but that's, it's neither the time nor the place. When someone's dying, you don't go in there, I know you're talking about heaven and stuff and you're about to die, but that's not real, right? Like, it's not the time to be doing that.
Unless like the customer is like about to die, or the patient, and they did something to really piss you off beforehand, so you can just do a little whisper in the ear on the way out.
Yeah, that's.
Damn.
Oh no!
Since you shit on my shoes, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those, and like, I think people that can talk about that's really cool.
Yeah.
And like I bet that's like really freeing, and like being able to have that conversation and be open about it.
I found that you can talk about it the more north you are in the United States. Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm.
Or west. The more north or west. It's the southern or eastern.
It's true.
It's still lingering and hanging on down there. So
yeah, and
it's all in the approach too. Like one-on-one. I've found that most people in the right situation, especially if they're asking you and it's a one-on-one conversation, most people are pretty receptive. It's, getting a group of them, and if you're the one that starts off the conversation with, by the way, I'm a Satanist, and then it's almost like you're on the attack. But if they come to you and they ask you, and it's an individual sitting down and listening to you and having an actual conversation, it's usually most people are pretty receptive.
Yeah, and it's a comfort level thing.
Sure.
So.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What does Satan mean to you?
Oh, I was so ready for this. I even wrote down.
Actually, she's the first guest that I didn't warn about the question, so I'm glad that she's ready.
Well,
I want to catch them when they're not ready, so they could just come out naturally. But go ahead. What do you got prepared?
Prepared? Okay, I'm not going to word for word it because it's pretty awkward. So Satan to me is it's living your life. It's having that fulfillment and that, that pride and being successful at what you do, no matter what it is. If it's your hobbies, it's your job, if it's raising a family, it's kind of going for full circle and having everything that you want, that you've obtained.
Right.
It's that feeling, after maybe a family dinner where everybody's just sitting down and relaxing, and you kind of look around and it's that just like content, happiness, and just being like, it's gonna sound super hippy dippy, but like just right with the world. But it's what you do. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
It does indeed.
So, and I feel like it's just something you just kind of live more than anything else. It's, I worked hard to succeed to do this, and I'm happy doing this. It's what I want to do.
Cool. And it pays pretty well too, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Like, yeah.
I could always pay more.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to shit on me, pay me,
Yeah.
Damn. So I take it like your husband does not shit on you, because like if you're taking shit all day, you don't want to come home and take any shit, right?
No.
That's
no,
awesome.
And I'm like horrible at home and super unsympathetic, and I feel really bad for him.
Yeah.
Well, you'd almost have. I mean, you can't help that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Most people's hard day is not going to add up to what a hard day for you would be.
Yeah, and it's super important to not like constantly like, you got to understand that bad days for people are different for the individual.
Sure.
Like my bad day, like somebody could have died and I could have worked really hard to try to save them, but they still passed. His bad day could be a machine broke down and they couldn't repair it, and it was really, product was getting behind. Things like that. So, but you can't always like try to like one up each other.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. So he comes home, he's like, that goddamn Gary, he didn't print out his TPS reports. And you're like, look, I got shit on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like actual shit.
Like every time you win, right?
Yeah. So,
that's awesome.
Or like, I
I
had
don't know
my
if that's
hand
worth
this
it,
far
but-
up somebody's
Yeah.
ass. Or, it's not, you can't make everything a pissing contest.
Or a shitting one. Yeah, totally.
No.
Like, fine, you win. I brought you home an apple.
He's just staring at me.
What's his name?
Hmm?
Who's staring at you?
My husband,
What's his name?
Michael.
Oh, Michael. Tell him to come
He
on.
looks like a
and-
Viking, doesn't he? If I remember right, he's like a burly Viking looking dude, right?
He's not, he's just, yeah. He, like, some little girls in Walmart thought he was Thor.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
That's the
I
dude.
didn't hear
Solomon
the end of it for about a
Poughkeepsie.
Oh, cool. So he's a pretty big boy.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's a big nerd, but it's
Yeah?
okay. Yeah. He grew up with Dungeons and Dragons,
Cool.
We all did.
reading. Yeah. So I'm trying to get him to teach me how to play. Because I never got to play Dungeons and Dragons and I really want to learn.
Yeah.
So that's like something I would like to pick up.
Invite Adam Cardone over. He'll really get you.
Yeah, there you go.
He's like the dungeon master. You know how hard it is to roll a 20? Come on. I don't know what I'm talking about. I never played it. Well, listen, Lizzie, it was great talking to you. Great getting to know you. You're now a devil we know. I want to thank you for coming on.
Yes,
Thank you.
indeed.
It's great.
All right, then. Until let's do it. Until next time, everyone, hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
El Satan.